Good day to you one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and this is Justin Hawkins Rides Again. Look at this little guy. Just my little girl put him on there because sometimes she makes videos herself, unboxing videos, that kind of stuff. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so guess what? There's another, well, I'm home, first of all, from Australia. Is this distracting at all, that little guy there? Maybe I'll pull that bit off. Oh, I'll just gently watch him sway. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to be talking about Judas Priest again today because there's a song called Crown of Thorns that they've just released on the 2nd of February. I'm a bit late to the party because I was out travelling. I didn't really feel like doing it on the road. It's never the same. But now I'm home in my studio and everything is A-OK. Justin Hawkins rides again. Yes, anyway. Oh, nice to play that guitar again. Oh, I've missed you. Anyway, yeah, Judas Priest have released a new single from their upcoming album, Invincible Shield. Seems like that album's been upcoming for ages. It's due out in March. And this song is called Crown of Thorns. The components of that song, they're not that unusual, but it's the way you put the arrangements together, vocalist Rob Halford shares. We've never been a formula band, but when we move into a texture that we're kind of comfortable with, or it's an experience that we're just kind of reimagining, then you expect to find something extra within that constructive idea to give it a fresh look and feel. So it sounds like they're jumbling stuff up just to keep it interesting for themselves. Rob admits that the results are surprising, even to his ears, but for a different reason. God, the band sounds so young, he laughs. It sounds like a young bunch of metalheads banging it out. That's just great, 50 years later, to still be having all of those important elements, the passion, the drive, the energy and the enthusiasm. It hasn't diminished one bit. Well, I'll be the judge of that, Mr. Halford. I'm sure it's awesome. I've enjoyed everything from this record so far, and it's not even out yet, so here we go. Clicking on the link, even as we speak. Watch this. Again. It's not even. I love that kind of stuff. Me and my brother used to do a thing, like, because if you think about like where the strings are, you got E, B, G, D, right? If you go down from the top, so if you do like a, you get this. It's really good fun, and it's just open string stuff, not difficult at all to achieve, and it's E, B, G, D. What a lovely thing to acknowledge. But, you know, not suggesting that that's what they're doing here, but I feel like it's kind of, you find, when you're making sort of guitar pieces like that, you find just shapes and it's an economical thing to just move your hand from one string to another, and you can do stuff like this. It's great. Lovely. I played a Flying V the other day, just out of curiosity, and actually, those are really good guitars. I mean, I wasn't sort of expecting much from it really, because I thought the balance would all be wrong and stuff. But you know, once you get used to it, you know the lack of weight, I suppose. I'm used to Les Pauls, but there's something to be said for the Flying V. Let me know in the comments section below if you think I should get a Flying V and whether it would suit me or not. La 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 la. It's actually quite moving if you play it in a slightly different way. But this, we are in the realms of the priest. It's not going to be, you know, it's not going to sound like campfire music, is it? It's going to sound like hellfire music, whatever that is. I'm not sure what that is, actually. Sorry. Yeah. Really cool live drum sound. I mean, sometimes modern metal, it just, sometimes it's so processed, you can hardly tell if it's a real drummer or if it's kind of like, I don't know, triggering samples. But that sounds like a real drum set played by a real drummer. It's lovely. there's something sort of furry and warm about the kick drum sound. And sometimes in a certain type of metal, it gets really clicky, and it has to be like that because they're playing patterns that go, like really, really fast stuff. And when you have like a flap of skin on the front of the bass drum to make that warm sound there, it's not appropriate for the sort of clicky, fast stuff. It gives me hope that this is going to be something a bit more groovy than a lot of what modern metal can sound like, you know?
I learned the hard way that what you dream for comes from the pain you hold inside.
His voice is awesome, isn't it? It never seems to get old. It's great.
I'd been so helpless, but love was waiting, just like an angel.
And the really cool thing about that drum pattern is go, 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 go. You know, you can anticipate what the fills are going to be. It's exactly what you hope for. So it's the tease and release thing that a lot of great rock has. And this has already got it. It hasn't even got to the chorus yet, and I'm already experiencing that. Heavy is the crown of thorns. That's a lovely melody. They're not just phoning it in and doing like blues rock singing tropes. These are proper melodies that they've thought about, and more power to them. Hooray for the Judas Priest. Join me. Hooray for the Judas Priest. Hooray.
Like king to be. I thought a rapture to end this capture, and something grew inside.
I haven't heard rapture and capture rhymed before. That's one of the things that I think we tend to overlook about Rob Halford's work. His lyricisms are really cool because he finds inventive couplets that nobody else does. You know, it's inspiring, really great.
Heavy is the crown of thorns that rests upon his head.
Oh, I thought he was saying rest upon his head, but I just realised he's saying rest upon this head. He's the one wearing the crown of thorns, and it's heavy. It's just the way it's designed. Oh, I think, no, actually the responsibility of being a martyr. That's what weighs heavy. It's not the actual cranial accoutrement or hat. It'd be great if he had like a set of headphones which had thorns on it, but then I suppose that's just too on the nose, really, isn't it? That's the thing about Judas Priest. It's never right on the nose. There's always something interesting in there. They're not a normal metal band, if there is such a thing. I know they helped to sort of design the blueprint of metal as we know it back in the early days of their career, but they always look for a different angle. I completely concur with the observations that Rob Halford made in the press statement that I read out earlier. I think they don't rest on their laurels, you know. I just think they try and keep it interesting for themselves and thus their audience. And that's great, isn't it? Like, you don't want people phoning it in. Crown of Horns! I've just realised it's Crown of Horns. Wait a minute, it's not even thorns, it's horns. That's clever. Crown of Horns. It's even better. No wonder it's so heavy. I was thinking like Crown of Thorns, it'd just be like wearing a bush on your head or something. But actually, if it's hot, it's going to be heavier, isn't it, for a start? Or is it, though? I've got a friend who walks around, he wears like a kilt, and he has a drinking horn attached to his belt. That never seems to weigh him down or even sort of tug at the materials. I think maybe horns are lighter. So the irony is a crown of horns would probably be lighter than a crown of thorns, and yet it still weighs heavy because of the responsibility of the horn crown that he is obliged to wear. I don't think it's about martyrdom anymore. I think it's about being like a metal icon. I think that's what it is, yeah. Metal icon. Which he is, obviously. And he's just telling us that, you know, having to live as a metal icon in what for most people would be retirement age, that is a huge undertaking. Oh. Some sexy kind of like hitting hitting the strings in one of those positions, probably around about the second fret. There's one of those sort of like weird sort of overtone harmonic-y things that's just, it's dissonant, but it's kind of exciting to hear because you know it just comes from striking the guitar without any intention of creating a note. It's like a percussive thing, you know. It's cool. I think it's cool anyway. What do I know? I don't know anything, do I? Yeah. Raise your horns up high. We all know that Rob Halford's got this incredible sort of banshee wail mega scream up his sleeve. And it's only a matter of time before he unleashes it. What's really fun is sort of anticipating the moment for him to do that. It's either going to be before the guitar solo, or it's going to be like going into the last choruses, or maybe part of the sort of as a ad lib thing in the last choruses. He really keeps his powder dry in these recent songs, and it's an awesome way to do it, because it's like you listen to it and you think, okay, this is cool, it's got a nice melody, but can he still do it? And then right at the end it's like, fuck yeah, he can still do it. Okay, so here's the solo. Lots of split harmonics and cool stuff going on, but he didn't scream into it, so I guess he's going to scream at the end. Yeah, that's what my money's on. Yeah! That's really cool. That's the contrasting techniques to do the similar sounding arpeggio work. It goes from like some right hand tapping to some alternate picking stuff. It's awesome to hear. See, if it was like if it was in a Europe song, a bit heavy, oh baby, if he putting all stuff like that in between, but he doesn't do that. That's just not in his. It's just not in his nature, I think, to sort of randomly fill in the spaces with like tropes and ad libs and all that. I think I'm just going to go back to what I said earlier. He's a guy that keeps his powder dry. And there's a minute left of this song, and at some point he's going to unleash all hell using his banshee wail. You watch. Come on, Rob. No way. Shit. I'm startled. I'm startled. That's a fade out, and he didn't do the scream. He didn't do the thing. Wow. I guess he's just at the point now where he doesn't need to. He's just write a really moving song about the burden of responsibility to be a metal icon, and he didn't do the scream. Maybe that's actually the point, because he always feels obliged to do those things, and heavy is the crown of horns. It's like, well, now he's saying, fuck you, I'm going to do whatever I want. It's really cool. Wow. Justin Hawkins writes again. Use the comment section below to tell me what you thought of that. I think it's actually a really ballsy move to not use the sort of, you know, your trademark piece of your range and sing a song about how, you know, I don't know, how the weight of expectation is just something that he has to carry around all the time as like one of the inventors of heavy metal. It's really interesting. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, watch one of these two videos and join the mailing list, and tell me what you thought of this Judas Priest, Crown of Horns. I thought it was thorns, but it's horns. He tricked me. All right, nice one, guys. See you on the ice. Cheers. Okay.